Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you ever so much for joining me for part 2 of the Tamiya Fw190 Fw190-A3 in 1:48 scale. So as I promised in the last episode, we are not going to mess about, we're going to get cracking straight on with the aircraft kit decals. So just going to run you through some of the bits that I use, what I have in my arsenal to get said decals into place and looking good. Just for the less experienced of us out there, just to give you an FYI, the water there is warm because that really helps with getting the decals to release from the backing paper, as you will see. As a side note, I've used Tamiya's Mark Fit Extra Strong and Strong because these particular decals from Tamiya, they're of a vintage, and to be honest, it really also applies to some of their more latest kits. The decals are really quite thick, so I'm going to use something a little bit stronger to get them to conform to the kit and the panel lines, etc, etc. But we'll see this as we progress through the few minutes that we cover this. If you haven't already, I will just get this bit out of the way. I'd be really grateful if you would kindly hit the like and subscribe button. Obviously, if you like what you see. I'm always open to kind, constructive comments, whether they be criticism or, as always with you guys, some really nice comments that I get on the weekly. It puts a smile on my face and I cannot thank you enough for doing it. But again, as I say, if you have any suggestions, anything I could be doing better, any kit building tips, etc, etc, I am certainly all ears for that. I will be talking a little bit less through these builds, just to give you guys a chance to concentrate on what's going on and just to see if that sort of style works better. I'm trying to improve my videos and the channel as I do each one, of course, on top of improving my kit building abilities. So let me know again what you think to this. If you like to listen to me waffle on, then crack on, say it. And if you're enjoying the silence, no cheering in the back seats there, thank you very much, then that's also great. And of course, I will put a little bit of background music because I think it just breaks it over a little bit better. No one wants to listen to silence. As always, when I go to record these live, you can guarantee everywhere would have been quiet for the last couple of hours, and the minute I hit the record button, the dog either decides to bark at somebody going past, an aircraft takes off, or there's loud vehicles or emergency vehicles. So I do apologise if that's in the background. I am investing in a microphone that will remove that issue, and that should be turning up soon for the next video, so hopefully that will make things a lot better. So moving on, using the decal solution there, the reason why I put that on first is it just allows the decal to stick and to conform and give it that painted on look so we can see the panel lines through it. So because these decals, here's me saying I wouldn't talk as much and just rabbiting on, but anyway, I digress. So we're using a toothpick to move this, but because these decals are so thick, I can get away with that, and also using my finger. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend that. If you can use something maybe like a cotton bud or a rubber-tipped brush, that would probably be a better utensil or tool to use, especially if your decals are quite thin. I certainly advise against using your finger to do it like I'm actually demonstrating here if your decals are thin, because they do have a horrible habit of sticking to your finger, and then a whole world of hurt opens up. So I say this as a kind of caveat. I'm showing you what I did. I'm not necessarily saying this is the way to do it. I'm just showing you guys as a guide to how I did it. So again, back with the Mark Fit Strong. I do upgrade to the Super Strong after this because I think it works better. Just putting a nice generous layer on there. Nothing too bad. I don't want to splurge it on, but just enough to allow it to do its thing. So a little bit of nice close-up video there. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because this stuff makes the decal wrinkle. Please, 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 I beg of you, don't touch it. It's meant to do this. It's just part of the process of getting it to soften down and to conform to the curvature of your fuselage or wherever it is that you put in the decal. Please, again, I repeat, do not touch it. Leave it until it is fully dried, and the wrinkles, I promise you, will be gone. Okay, we are now moving on. As you can see, I put some other decals on there. I didn't want to labour the point. Once you've seen one go on, you pretty much get the idea, right? But this is a great marking on the side of this aircraft, a very famous marking. So I just wanted to show myself putting this bit on at least and covering that. As you can see, this decal is a little bit stubborn. There's quite a large surface there for it to actually grip. So if you cross this problem, or it's not even a problem, a slight issue, again, just take your time. If you've got plenty of water on the back, it will move. Just allow it. Don't panic. Just basically using the cotton bud here. Again, just to finalise the position, push out any of the water behind it and any of the solution that isn't necessarily needed. Just starting to get it to conform. And there's quite a bit of detail behind the engine cowling there that needs to sort of develop and come through. So again, just putting the extra strong setting solution over the top. This will allow it to conform and not rushing the process, and just allowing that decal to soften and to conform to the detail underneath. You can see it's ever so slightly starting to happen there now. So while that's conforming, sticking, getting itself into position, as you can see there, quite a lot of wrinkling going on. It's doing its thing. We'll move swiftly on to the forward part of this marking. Just checking, making sure it's all level and in line and looks how it should. Once we're happy, again, using the cotton bud, just pushing out any liquid behind that doesn't need to be there. Getting the decal to stick to the plastic and the paint. Okay, decal's done. Well, for the most part done. It's on to weathering this beast. So what I've used is Tamiya's panel line accent in black. I mean, basically bathed the whole wing with it, and then using some tissue paper basically after I've given it just a little bit of time just to adhere to the kit. It's really great stuff. You can just wipe it away. But as you can see there, it just dulls the colours down a little bit. It just helps lose that new, fresh look that's going on once we've... So basically, we've got a lovely fresh paintwork and we're basically wrecking it, to be totally honest with you, or as we call it, weathering it, so that it looks like it's been in theatre, it's done some missions, it's not brand new, minty fresh anymore. And the other great thing about this stuff, and I've used the grey for this one, so it's just a little bit less stark than the black because it's a lighter underside colour. And as you can see there, it brings out, like we covered when we were doing the cockpit, it brings out all the details as well. And as you see, the rivets, panel lines, hinges, etc, etc. And it's great fun, this bit. I love this bit. You can just be as liberal as you like, basically. One thing I will say, it is very much best to do this on the gloss surface that you've used to apply your decals to. We will, of course, obviously matte this down because they weren't glossy, the aircraft. They were matte, but we're going to do this process first because it just allows the capillary action to work better. And also you can wipe it away a lot more easily. In fact, I really wouldn't want to do this on a matte surface. So there we go. We've got the oil washes done. We are going to move on at a pace, as you can see. And this stuff is great stuff. It's called Starship Filth. It's not as galactic as it sounds. It's just basically a sort of nice oily, browny, stainy looking colour. I love my technical terms, don't you? And we're just going to start to work through and start to grime up where there would be exhaust gases coming out, other grime and dirt, etc., and oil, etc. Now, this is going to look really stark to start with, okay? Like I appreciate right now it looks fake, it looks awful, it looks naff. Bear with me, and we'll go through the process, and I was pretty happy with the end result. And the other great thing is this stuff wipes away completely. So where the left side of that wing there, I wasn't happy, got a bit carried away, you can just wipe it away, or you can blend it in to just look like there's a little bit of dirt there, or there's a little bit of grime, a little bit of stuff that's kicked up off the grass strips and the runways that they used. And this stuff is also great because this is where I believe the bullet shells came out, so that was always leaving a little bit of a sooty trail behind. As you can see, I wasn't happy with it being in that position, but I'm quite happy with having like a little bit of a grimy area there. And now just focus my attention onto one of the main exhaust areas. Again, this can look pretty stark, but again, as I keep stressing, you can really wipe it away. You can do what you like with this stuff to get it to how you want it. And if you completely mess up, you can completely wipe it away and start again. And what I'm trying to sort of do is create the illusion, the effect of it being working with how the wind would go over the fuselage. So streaking, etc., etc. Just go with the direction of wind flow. There we go. See, not too stark at all. And as you can see, you build up these effects bit by bit, and it all starts to come together. It can look quite stark at the beginning, but then it all comes together. And there, can you see where the decal on the left side with that griffin has conformed into the panels, etc. on the side there? I left it overnight, and there you go. It has magically done its thing. Okay, so obviously we want to get some exhaust because this aircraft would have exhaust stains on the side. Now, this is my first punt at this, so I've used Tamiya Smoke for this. If you have any recommendations, because from what I've seen, different aircraft had different exhaust stains and burns, etc., depending where the exhaust stacks would be. That's my take of it, and I've tried to do a little bit of research with this. Obviously, as the war went on and these aircraft got more and more battered, if they survived that long, the exhaust staining got worse and worse. So I guess I'm kind of depicting one that's only done a few, like 3 or 4 missions here. It hasn't quite been completely battered, but it is showing signs of wear and tear and weathering. So I'm just, with a low pressure, misting this on to basically taste, okay, just to see. Less is more, as I've said. You can build it up, but I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a git to get rid of if you've overdone it. So take your time, just build up the layers. I quite like the effect here. I think it's pretty accurate. Again, open to comments and criticism, and more importantly, suggestions, if you wouldn't mind. I have, of course, just sped this up just to move the process along. My hand isn't actually moving that quickly. As you can see there, just dulling it down now, just to get that sort of exhaust effect. And I've done the same along here, where I think there would be other evidences of smoke, grime and bits and pieces going on like so, just to give it a bit of a slightly streaky effect. And I can't lie, I'm quite happy with that. And as you can see on the leading cowling, you might have noticed on that yellow bit, I did do some oil streaks in the end of that last video. I wasn't happy with them, so I removed them and just sort of reduced it right down just to be a little bit more, probably a little bit more realistic, should I say. And of course, we rinse and repeat on this side as well. But there we go. Just for comparison, you can see it's just got that light evidence that it's just been lightly kissed with, kissed, is that the right word? It's stained by the exhaust fumes, just to give it, like I say, that used effect. Okay, moving very, very swiftly on, we get to the prop and the spinner. And using a silver pencil, this is so subjective, this bit. I've done what I think is right. It would have picked up a few chips and bits and pieces. Part of me thinks it's slightly overdone. I'm not so sure. I think with the naked eye, it looks better than it does through the camera. And I am fully aware, as I said in episode 1, which if you haven't watched, go and watch, by the way. I really do need to get an AK chrome pencil for this, because this one I think is just a little bit haggard and had it. But it's what I had to hand, and I just tried to give this sort of a slightly weathered and chipped look to it. Just a not new look. And one thing I will say is do check your references. Well, actually, it's pretty simple to see. Excuse the racket in the background. It's pretty simple to see which way the prop would be spinning. Please don't get that wrong, because it looks horrendous if you get the wrong side of the prop that's been chipped. And just turning my attention to the spinner a little bit, just to give it a little bit of marking, just to add a little bit of visual interest. Okay, this is stuff I've not used before, and this is Ammo's line wash, and it's PLW Dust, okay, because these wheels just look too immaculate for my liking, so I just wanted to give them a bit of a grimy, not necessarily dusty look, which is ironic considering I'm using a dust, but just give them a bit of a weathered look, just to lose that sort of minty out of the factory kind of look. And I wanted to do this on the tyres. This is a new thing for me. I hope I get this right. Just to sort of get a bit of, again, just the worn look. And of course, it does look a bit stark to start with, the light colour against the black. But of course, when this dries, it fades down. It's not glossy. It becomes matte and just turns into a dusty look. It's fantastic stuff, to be totally honest. And as demonstrated, once it dries, it just gives it a little bit of a grimy, weathered, well-used look. Loses the shine, and it's just quite subtle. Obviously, it's slightly more pronounced here because we zoomed right in on it, but with the naked eye, it really does. I was quite impressed. I'm happy with it. So it's time to attach the big, dangly, lanky legs of this beautiful aircraft, and they are at a very specific angle as well. Those of you that are obviously very well versed with these kits and aircraft, you will know what I'm on about. But yeah, they're weirdly angled, and it looks super cool. So we really are coming, we're starting to draw this episode and this build to an end. I can't believe I've actually completed 2 aircraft this year. I think it took me 3 years to do this before, so quite pleased with myself. So obviously we had that PVC bung that was in there, so it makes it so easy just to pop it in. You see the chipped up prop. I think it is, if I'm being a bit critical of myself, they're a little bit overdone. But I've learned for next time to stick to my own words, less is more. And with the previously used silver pencil, we're just going to go around now, because these would have been access hatches and bits and pieces. So just giving them a little bit of attention, just so that they don't look brand new. And as you can see there on the top of the screen, where all the other latches, etc. are, just a bit chipped up, etc. Just to add, again, a bit of visual stimulation and a little bit of visual interest. I'm going along the hinge line there. Just working my way around the kit just to add these little bits of interest. Okay, at long last I get to remove the cockpit masking. Bearing in mind I didn't use a pre-cut mask for this, I actually, have to say, freehand masked this. Let's see how we get on. Is it a disaster? Because this is quite a make or break, hold your breath kind of moments. What I will say though is if you do mess up and get a little bit of a bleed, I have learnt that if you use a toothpick, you can scrape away, in most cases, any sort of bleeds and excess paint that you don't want on your cockpit transparency. So fast it forwarded, just for your viewing pleasure to get through it. We have got 5 minutes to go, and if you wouldn't mind at the end, I've posted up some pictures to be viewed at the end that I've taken of the completed build, just to show you what it looked like when everything was done. Again, I'm open to all comments and any helpful constructive criticism, etc., etc. Hints and tips. Cool, I can tell I'm tired. It's been a long day. What can I say? As you can see though, so far so good. There we go. Great success. I was very, very relieved, I must admit. So yeah, really, really pleased with that. Now, I hear you all saying, hang about, you said you were going to do something you've not done before. Hold fire. Don't walk out the door just yet. And here we are. So, this is my first go at creating the radio aerials. I think that's what they're called. The wires that go through it so they can communicate. So I got some ammo 0.03mm rigging. And some terrific stuff. I picked this up from another channel called, oh there we go, we'll just refer to this. It's Ammo's MiG 8018 0.03mm rigging, just for the purist amongst us. So this stuff, UV resin. So what is this for the less experienced? This stuff is basically glue that you can put on your kit and then it cures with UV light. This is particularly useful when doing rigging because you don't want super glue, especially near your transparencies, because you need to have time to just sort of get this to adjust, get it where you want it without it drying. So this basically doesn't dry until you put the UV light on it, but it does stick. So you can get your rigging in there, get it in position, and then hit it with a light. Forgive my slightly shaky hands in this, and also the magnifier that you can see there. I was super, super anxious about doing this and super, super concentrated on trying to get it right. So I've done my best here. And I've tried to show you in the video because it is super difficult to see. As you can see, there ain't a lot of that wire that shows up in the video. So I hope I show you as best as I could. I hope you're happy with how I've shown this. So there we go. We're just getting the rigging to sit in that bit of uncured glue. Make sure we're happy where it is. And then what's great is we have time to get it in situ and then blast it with the UV light. I wasn't sure if this was going to work. I must admit, I've obviously seen other people doing it. I was like, but can you get it to do it, dude? And I was quite pleased. For a first go, I'm going to give myself an 8 out of 10. I think the positioning was ever so slightly out on it, but I'm not going to be too hard on myself. But there you go. Lo and behold, the system works. And this rigging is flexible, so it's like a really teeny weeny rubber band, basically. And you just get it taut on there, not too taut, like, yeah, don't be pulling on it or anything too extensively. But it's quite forgiving stuff. And once you've done it a couple of times, I mean, this is only my first time, so yeah, I was a little bit not steady-handed with it and a little bit not sure what I was doing. But once you've given this a couple of goes, I reckon it's not really that difficult. And I just think it adds an extra dimension to your build. Again, forgive the shaky hands from today. I don't know what was going on there. This is fiddly, I can't lie. Between you and me, this might be take 5, but don't tell anyone else. But in the end, I finally nailed it. I think I took a step back there and breathed a sigh of relief and gave it an extra blast with the UV light just to make sure. And then, of course, with a sharp scalpel blade, you then cut off the excess. Right, we've got less than a minute to go before the photos. Please do hang around for the pictures. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you ever so much if you've managed to get through the 27 minutes odd of this video. I appreciate you as always doing this. It astonishes me people tune in and listen to my ramblings. I appreciate they might not be as smooth and classy as other people's videos, which is why I appreciate you even more for sticking with me. I am trying to improve my skills and my model making techniques and of course my videoing. And like I say, I've got a new microphone coming soon, so that will hopefully improve the sound quality as well. But there we go. As I say, photos coming up. Thank you again. I think the next video that will be out will be part 2 of my F14 Tomcat build. Don't miss it. Until next time, happy modelling. Have a good one. Don't just stash your models. Build the blooming things. Have a good one. Peace out, people.